As you settle into a position that feels soft and comforting, your breath begins to slow, stretching gently into a calm rhythm that settles through your whole body. The day loosens its hold on you, drifting backward into quiet shadows. And in that growing stillness, a new question begins to glow softly in your mind. What if Earth is not alone? What if it is just one of millions of blue worlds scattered across the vast darkness, each one shimmering quietly beneath distant stars? You imagine yourself rising gently above the surface of Earth, drifting higher and higher until the familiar shapes of continents blur into soft color. The oceans shine like deep, polished sapphire. The clouds move in slow curls of white. From this quiet height, Earth becomes a glowing bead of blue light suspended in darkness. It feels peaceful, fragile, and beautiful. And as you look at it, you sense that there might be countless others, silent, hidden, waiting in the far corners of the universe. Your breath moves in slow, smooth arcs as you picture drifting farther from Earth. The blue glow fades into a small dot behind you, and space opens into a vast, gentle sea of darkness. Somewhere out there, maybe millions of light years away, you imagine another world, also blue, also wrapped in oceans, its surface reflecting the light of a distant sun. You do not know its name or its shape, but you can feel its presence as a soft echo across the cosmos. You drift deeper into the idea that blue worlds might be far more common than anyone has ever imagined. Worlds covered in oceans deeper than Earth's, worlds wrapped in shimmering clouds, worlds where rain falls in slow, rhythmic patterns, creating gentle waves that stretch across endless seas. These planets might turn quietly under their stars, their rhythms steady and soothing, each one carrying its own calm heartbeat in the silence of space. You imagine gliding through the darkness between stars, weightless, unhurried. As you float, you begin to sense faint glimmers of blue light scattered across the cosmic horizon, distant worlds glowing softly like small lanterns drifting in a wide, dark ocean. They do not shout their presence. They whisper it, quietly, gently, as if inviting you to imagine what might live on their silent shores. Your breath deepens as you picture a world bathed in a blue mist, its atmosphere glowing softly even in darkness. Gentle waves move across its surface, their motion slow and soothing. There may be life in those waters, moving with a rhythm that matches the planet's quiet pulse. Creatures shaped by currents, flowing gracefully through the warmth of their ocean home. As you imagine them drifting, your own thoughts become like those waves, slow, soft, smooth. You drift farther into the idea that some blue worlds might hold towering structures of ice stretching into pale skies. Their oceans might hide beneath frozen shells, warm currents flowing beneath the surface like secret rivers of light. Life there would be gentle, slow-moving, shaped by patience and deep quiet. You imagine these hidden oceans glowing softly in the dark, warmed by the heart of the world below, and the thought fills you with a deep, settling calm. You feel your shoulders loosen, your breath softening as you imagine yet another blue world, one where the sky glows with colors Earth has never seen. Perhaps its oceans are richer, thicker, glowing faintly under a distant star. Perhaps floating creatures drift just beneath the surface, trailing long ribbons of luminescence that light the water from within. Their slow motion feels soothing to imagine, their gentle dance mirroring the way your thoughts drift across the quiet space of your mind. You drift deeper now, imagining that Earth is not unique, not solitary, but part of a vast family of blue worlds scattered through the cosmos, each one with its own forms of calm, its own gentle rhythms, its own quiet ecosystems moving in peace beneath pale skies. These worlds turn silently, unseen by any eye, carrying oceans that breathe softly in the dark. The idea feels comforting, like knowing the universe holds more beauty than one world can contain. You breathe out slowly as you imagine passing near a blue world wrapped in endless twilight. The soft glow of its star lights the surface in gentle gradients, painting its oceans in shades of indigo and silver. The waves move like sleeping breaths, rising and falling with perfect stillness. You feel your mind falling into that same rhythm, your body sinking deeper into the warm quiet beneath you. You drift and drift, feeling as though you are floating through an ocean of stars, each one illuminating a distant blue world, some large, some small, some hidden behind swirling nebulae. They shimmer like scattered reflections of Earth, reminders that the universe is wide, welcoming, and full of quiet wonder. And as these imagined worlds fade softly into the background of your awareness, you feel yourself settling deeper into rest, held gently by the idea that Earth is just one gentle note in a vast cosmic symphony of blue. As you drift deeper into the quiet space inside your breath, the idea of Earth being just one of countless blue worlds begins to settle softly into your awareness, like a gentle wave washing over smooth sand. The darkness around you feels wider now, stretching out in all directions in a warm, peaceful hush. And in that hush, you imagine yourself continuing to glide farther from Earth, carried by a slow current of starlight that moves with the same ease as your breathing. You picture yourself passing through regions of space where stars are sparse and faint, their light stretched thin like soft threads. In this dim expanse, you begin to sense the presence of distant, unseen worlds, planets wrapped in oceans, their surfaces glowing in gentle shades of blue. They drift far beyond anything human eyes have found, turning slowly beneath their quiet suns. The thought of these worlds brings a soft warmth to your chest, as though the universe is revealing small secrets only in the stillness of night. You imagine approaching one such world, its surface shimmering with deep, tranquil seas. The water moves in long, unbroken stretches, forming waves so slow they look like the steady breathing of a sleeping planet. No storms disturb its surface. No harsh winds scatter its calm. This world rests in perfect equilibrium, held gently in the cradle of its orbit. As you drift above those vast waters, your own mind mirrors their slow, serene movement, thoughts spreading out like ripples, then fading into nothing. You breathe softly as you picture another blue world, smaller, wrapped in layers of mist that glow faintly under the pale light of its star. Its oceans are shallower, maybe warmer, holding life that moves with slow, graceful motions. Perhaps small creatures drift near the surface, glowing softly as they float, leaving trails of light that weave shimmering patterns through the water. Their movement feels soothing to imagine, each slow twist and turn reflecting the gentle rhythm of the world around them. You drift onward, imagining a world where blue is not just the color of its oceans, but the color of its skies, its stones, even the faint light that rises from the surface at dusk. This planet glows with a soft, cerulean radiance, as though bathed in perpetual twilight. Its air might shimmer, carrying tiny particles that catch the faint starlight and scatter it like dust. As you imagine drifting through its glowing atmosphere, a softness settles into your body, as though the color itself is calming your thoughts. Your breath moves deeper as you envision a blue world where the seas stretch endlessly, with no land above the surface at all. Just water, mile after mile, turning gently in the pull of its moon. The ocean might be ancient, older than human history many times over, filled with slow-moving life deep beneath the waves. These creatures could be vast, peaceful beings that glide through the dark with a grace too slow to see, their bodies shimmering faintly in the dimness. Their calm presence fills the planet like a quiet heartbeat, and as you imagine them drifting below, your own body drifts further into the warmth beneath you. You imagine another blue world that lies far from its star, colder and more quiet, wrapped in layers of ice. But beneath the thick shell, you sense a warm ocean moves in gentle currents, heated by the core of the planet. Life there exists in deep, slow rhythms, delicate forms drifting through the dark, glowing faintly like small lanterns suspended in water. They gather in clusters, sharing warmth, creating soft shapes of light in the deep unseen. As you picture them, a sense of safety washes over you, as though you too are wrapped in layers of gentle warmth. Your thoughts drift further as you imagine a world where blue is the color of rain, thick, shimmering droplets falling in slow motion, spreading ripples across calm waters. The sound of this rain would be soft, steady, soothing, echoing across miles of ocean. You imagine floating in the air above such rain, listening to the soft patterns as they fall. The imagined sound blends with your breath, deepening the quiet around you, inviting your mind to settle even more deeply into stillness. You drift onward through the dark, passing countless stars, each one holding the possibility of another blue world. Some may be hidden behind clouds of dust, their oceans glowing faintly like small lanterns waiting to be discovered. Others may lie in distant clusters of stars, their blue surfaces shimmering like gems in the quiet of deep space. The thought that so many worlds might carry their own gentle oceans fills the universe with a sense of calm abundance, as if everywhere life has carved out peaceful places to rest. Your breath moves in long, slow waves, matching the imagined waves of all those distant seas. You feel yourself drifting with them, carried by the quiet motion of a universe filled with blue worlds, each one breathing softly beneath its own sky. And as these worlds fade into the background of your awareness, you sink deeper into rest, floating gently in the vastness that surrounds you. As you drift even deeper into this warm, expansive quiet, the idea of countless blue worlds scattered through the universe begins to glow softly in your mind, like tiny lights flickering across a dark ocean. Your breath moves in long, gentle sweeps, each inhale lifting you lightly, each exhale guiding you into a deeper calm. The space around you feels wide and welcoming, as though the cosmos has opened a soft pathway for you to drift through, unhurried and held by the gentle hush of the night. You imagine gliding through a region of space where the starlight thickens into soft streams, forming luminous currents you can follow effortlessly. These currents lead you toward another distant blue world, shimmering faintly beneath its quiet star. As you draw closer, you see that its oceans stretch in intricate patterns, curling around its continents like ribbons of deep sapphire. The waves move slowly, rippling across the surface in smooth, steady breaths. And as you hover above them, your own breath falls into that same peaceful rhythm, unbroken and calm. You drift to another world, smaller and softer, wrapped in pale blue clouds that swirl gently across its surface. Its atmosphere glows like the inside of a seashell, shimmering with soft hues that shift with every movement of light. Beneath the clouds, you sense lakes of bright, clear water, scattered across a landscape shaped by gentle winds. The lakes glisten like tiny jewels, reflecting the faint starlight above. As you imagine drifting through this planet's quiet sky, you feel yourself floating in the same calm, suspended between softness and stillness. Your thoughts drift as you picture a world where the oceans are warm and shimmering, glowing faintly from within. Bioluminescent currents move through the water in slow, winding paths, creating long, glowing trails that stretch across the sea. These trails dance in shapes that look almost like constellations moving beneath the surface. Quiet, living maps tracing the rhythm of the world. You hover above this glowing ocean, watching the soft light sway and bend. The gentle movement of these glowing patterns soothes your mind, drawing you deeper into the warmth beneath your skin. You imagine floating toward a blue world surrounded by several moons. Their combined light casts shifting patterns on the planet's oceans, waves glowing silver, then pale blue, then fading into deep indigo as the moons move across the sky. On this world, nights must last longer, stretching like long, dreamlike moments. The seas breathe slowly under the multiple moons, and as you imagine that extended quiet, your own sense of time begins to stretch, softening into long, calm intervals that ease you deeper into rest. Your breath deepens as you envision a planet where the oceans are calm almost all the time, protected by a ring of shimmering ice crystals drifting in orbit. The crystals scatter light across the surface, creating a soft, bluish glow that wraps the entire world in a gentle radiance. Beneath that glow, the waters remain still, moving only when touched by faint tides drawn from distant gravitational pulls. It is a world of deep tranquility, where life would evolve slowly, peacefully, in harmony with the quiet rhythms of its environment. You feel that tranquility sinking into your body, spreading warmth through your chest and arms. You drift deeper into the idea that some blue worlds might be entirely dark beneath their oceans, lit only by the soft glow of creatures moving through the deep. These beings swim in slow, fluid motions, their light drifting in gentle pulses that communicate calm and curiosity. They gather in clusters like floating galaxies, creating soft spirals of glowing motion in the darkness below. Imagining their peaceful gathering, you feel a similar sense of togetherness, a quiet warmth that settles into the center of your being. You imagine a world farther still, one where the oceans are not water, but another liquid entirely, something smooth, cool, and glowing faintly with soft blue light. The seas move like liquid silk, their surface rippling in long, delicate waves. As you drift above them, you sense a calm that feels deeper than silence, a quiet that reaches down into the core of your breath. The gentle motion of this alien ocean becomes part of you, rocking your awareness into deeper stillness. Your body grows heavier as your thoughts drift toward a world where blue is not only the color of water, but the color of life itself. Plants, glowing softly in the darkness, stretch delicate fronds toward the sky. Small floating forms drift on the surface of the sea, gently swaying in the faint breeze. The world feels gentle, peaceful, shaped by slow rhythms and soft energy. You imagine resting there, surrounded by glowing flora, the air warm and quiet around you. Your awareness continues to drift as you imagine countless more blue worlds scattered across the galaxy, some bright, some dim, some vast, some small, each carrying its own quiet beauty. You float among them like a small breeze moving across distant waters. The cosmos feels calm, expansive, and patient. It holds these worlds effortlessly, and it holds you in this moment with the same quiet strength. Your breath slows further, settling into a deep, warm rhythm. The blue worlds fade softly from your awareness, dissolving into a gentle background glow as your body sinks deeper into rest. You feel weightless, peaceful, drifting in the wide calm of the cosmos. And you remain there, floating quietly, ready to travel further when the next part unfolds. As you drift deeper into this soft, expansive quiet, the blue worlds scattered across the cosmos begin to feel like distant companions, each one glowing gently in its own rhythm, each one turning slowly beneath a star of its own. Your breath moves in smooth, steady waves, rising and falling like the tides of an unseen ocean. With every inhale, the vastness around you grows deeper and calmer. With every exhale, the last pieces of the waking world drift farther away. You continue floating through this gentle darkness, guided only by the soft shimmer of countless blue worlds far ahead. You imagine gliding toward a world where the oceans are vast and shallow, stretching outward like mirrors of soft cobalt glass. The surface is so still that it reflects the sky perfectly, blurring the line between water and air. As you drift above this silent ocean, you feel suspended in a space where everything blends together: reflection, color, calm. The stillness of this world seeps into you, smoothing the edges of your thoughts until they flow like calm water. You breathe softly as you imagine another blue world, one with towering crystalline cliffs rising from the ocean floor, their surfaces shimmering in shades of aquamarine and deep sapphire. When waves gently touch the base of these formations, a soft hum reverberates through the water, creating a kind of natural lullaby that drifts for miles. These slow, resonant vibrations feel soothing even from afar, and as you imagine them moving through the quiet air around you, your breath aligns with their rhythm, deepening your sense of rest. You drift onward to a distant world where the oceans glow softly at night, illuminated by long strands of bioluminescent life drifting beneath the surface. These glowing shapes twist and stretch like soft blue silk, unfurling slowly across the dark water. As they move, they leave trails of light that fade gradually, like memories dissolving into stillness. You imagine hovering above this glowing expanse, the soft patterns of light dancing beneath you, calming your mind with their gentle rhythm. Your body relaxes further as you picture a world where enormous floating islands drift across a wide ocean. These islands are covered in soft blue moss that sways like underwater grass, glowing faintly in moonlight. They drift slowly on the planet's warm currents, carrying quiet ecosystems across the sea. Birds with shimmering feathers glide above them, moving with slow, graceful arcs through the sky. As you imagine floating above these drifting islands, your breath becomes slower, your body heavier, held by the same gentle currents that move the world below. You drift deeper into the quiet as you imagine a blue world wrapped in a delicate ring of ice. This ring scatters the light of its nearby star into fine, shimmering beams that sweep across the ocean in slow circles. Each beam creates a soft, shifting glow on the water, turning the world into a rotating pattern of light and shadow. Watching this slow motion dance from above, you feel your own mind slipping into that same gentle rotation, thoughts circling quietly, drifting outward into stillness. You picture another world where the oceans are filled with vast rolling mists that hover just above the water. These mists stretch endlessly across the surface, glowing with a pale blue sheen that makes the horizon disappear into soft light. Life moves inside these mists, delicate shapes that drift like small clouds, their movements too slow to disturb the air. You imagine gliding through these hovering veils, feeling their cool calmness wrap around you like a soothing whisper. Your breath deepens again as you imagine a planet where the wind shapes the ocean into long, smooth waves that travel across the entire globe without breaking. These waves move like slow-moving hills, rising and falling beneath the soft sky. The rhythm is steady, ancient, and gentle. Life might drift upon them, carried effortlessly from one part of the world to another. As you imagine riding these slow waves, your own breath becomes like their motion, rising, falling, seamless. You drift further into the idea that many blue worlds may hold forms of life that move with a patience far beyond human understanding. Creatures that glide through the water for decades without ever rushing. Plants that unfurl their leaves over centuries. Shores shaped slowly by warm tides that have flowed the same way for eons. These planetary rhythms feel soothing to imagine, as though the universe itself is showing you how to rest, how to breathe, how to settle into deeper calm. You float among these imagined worlds, each one adding a layer of stillness to your mind. The blue light of distant oceans blends together into a soft glow that surrounds you, warm and gentle. Your body becomes heavier, sinking into the surface beneath you. Your thoughts loosen, drifting like small feathers in quiet air. Everything is soft, everything is calm, everything holds you. And as the glow of countless blue worlds fades into the gentle darkness behind your eyes, you drift into deeper rest, floating peacefully through the quiet spaces of the cosmos, ready to continue when the next part unfolds. As you drift deeper into this quiet, expansive dream space, the presence of those distant blue worlds feels even more familiar, as though they have formed a gentle constellation around your drifting awareness. Your breath moves in long, unbroken waves now, slow and soft, each inhale filling you with calm, each exhale loosening your body into an even deeper sense of rest. The darkness around you is warm, the silence soothing, and the feeling of drifting between countless blue worlds becomes a soft comfort that carries you further into stillness. You imagine gliding toward a world where the ocean reflects its star in shimmering layers, each wave catching light like brushed silk. The water stretches endlessly, its surface patterned with gentle spirals created by slow, planetary winds. When you hover above it, the world looks like a vast, living canvas of blue and silver, moving in slow, fluid patterns. As you watch those spirals drift outward, you feel a soft unwinding inside yourself, as though your thoughts are gently loosening, drifting outward in the same peaceful motion. You breathe softly as you imagine a world with coastlines carved into smooth, sweeping curves, shaped by tides that have moved with perfect consistency for millions of years. These shores are lined with soft, glowing sand, that shimmers faintly in moonlight, casting a pale blue glow across the waves. At night, the ocean breathes gently against the glowing coastline, creating rhythms as soft as whispers. As you imagine this, your own breath settles into a similar whisper, slow and warm, easing you deeper into the quiet. You drift onward to a world whose oceans are dotted with enormous floating lilies, their petals wide and luminous. These vast blooms drift across the water like gentle lanterns, glowing with soft light in the darkness. Beneath them, creatures glide in slow, sweeping arcs, drawn to the gentle luminescence above. The planet feels alive in a quiet, harmonious way, each movement soft and unhurried. As you hover above this peaceful scene, your thoughts begin to glow faintly, warming and softening until they dissolve into calm. Your body grows heavier as you imagine a blue world where vast underwater forests stretch across the planet's hidden depths. Tall, slow-growing plants sway in deep currents, their leaves shimmering with faint blue light. Enormous, gentle creatures drift between them, moving with grace through the dim glow. These underwater forests stretch so far that they form a world of their own, untouched, unbroken, serene. Imagining this hidden realm, your own inner world feels as though it's sinking into calm, drifting deeper into warm, undisturbed quiet. You drift further into the cosmic dark as you approach another world, one whose oceans ripple with soft, rhythmic waves, created by the pull of two moons that orbit in perfect harmony. The waves move like synchronized breaths across the surface, creating patterns of light and shadow that stretch for miles. These rhythms feel ancient, steady, comforting. As you imagine floating just above them, the dual rhythm merges with your own breath, each inhale and exhale creating gentle tides within you. You imagine a world where rain falls gently every night, not in storms or sudden bursts, but in long, soft curtains of blue droplets. The rain glows faintly as it falls, illuminating the surface of the sea in shimmering patterns. It creates a soothing hum that spreads across the world's oceans, like a lullaby sung by the planet itself. As you imagine listening to that soft rain, you feel a similar hush settling around your thoughts, wrapping them in warmth and quiet. Your breath deepens as you picture a world where the oceans have a soft, luminescent mist floating just above the water. This mist glows with a pale blue-white light, drifting in long, slow sheets across the surface. Life from beneath the waves sometimes rises into the mist, trailing faint ribbons of light as they move. These creatures flicker softly, like wandering stars drifting low across the sea. Their slow movement brings a sense of peace into your chest, as though your heart itself begins to glow with a quiet blue warmth. You drift into the thought of a world where small islands of smooth blue stone rise gently above the waves. These stones reflect the sky with such clarity that the islands seem to blend into the air around them. They stand untouched, peaceful, holding silence like a living thing. As you imagine standing on one of these islands, the world around you becomes still, a soft cocoon of calm that mirrors the stillness beginning to settle inside you. You float further through this imagined galaxy, where each blue world offers its own kind of quiet, its own gentle rhythm, its own warmth. The more you drift, the more you realize how many forms of calm exist in the universe. Endless oceans of silence, gentle winds, glowing shores, drifting creatures shaped by peace. These worlds feel like soft invitations to rest, each one reminding you how natural it is to drift, to breathe, to let go. Your breath slows into a deep, warm rhythm as the worlds fade softly into the surrounding darkness. You sink lower into your body, feeling supported, safe, carried by the gentle pulse of the cosmos. The blue light of distant oceans becomes a faint glow behind your thoughts, and you drift deeper into the stillness that has opened around you. You remain suspended in that quiet, weightless calm, ready to continue the journey when the next part unfolds. As you drift further into this gentle, dark expanse, the feeling of floating among countless blue worlds becomes even more soothing, as if each one hums softly in the background, adding its own quiet note to the calm that surrounds you. Your breath has settled into a slow, steady rhythm, each inhale filling you with a soft blue glow, each exhale releasing you a little deeper into warm stillness. The cosmos feels peaceful, spacious, open, and you move through it with the ease of a drifting tide. You imagine gliding toward a world wrapped in translucent layers of mist that shimmer with faint blue light. Through the haze, you can just make out the surface of a calm ocean stretching far beyond the horizon. The mist moves slowly, curling around itself in gentle spirals, creating shapes that form and dissolve like dreams. As you float through these soft spirals, your own thoughts begin to mimic their motion, slow, drifting, unhurried, dissolving into the quiet that holds you. You breathe deeply as you approach another blue world, this one turning slowly beneath a star that casts a soft, cool glow across its surface. Its oceans move with a deep, rolling rhythm, swaying like the slow breath of a giant. Beneath the waves, you imagine immense, peaceful creatures drifting through the water, their movements so gentle that the ocean barely stirs around them. Their calm presence feels ancient, steady, comforting. As you picture their slow passage beneath the waves, your chest loosens and your breath grows even more smooth. You drift onward to a world where shimmering blue clouds cover the sky like a vast floating ocean above the ocean below. Lightning never strikes here, storms never roar. Instead, the clouds glow softly from within, pulsing in gentle patterns that look almost like breathing. When you imagine floating through those glowing layers, you feel wrapped in a kind of celestial cradle, warm, quiet, suspended in a rhythm too soft to disturb sleep. Your awareness settles deeper as you imagine a world where the ocean is dotted with floating crystals, translucent and shimmering. When touched by starlight, these crystals emit faint, musical tones that drift across the water in long, soothing waves of sound. The tones are soft, warm, and slow, vibrating gently through the air, blending into one continuous lullaby. You listen in your imagination, and the tones seem to move through your body too, relaxing you in small, comforting pulses. Your breath moves like velvet as you picture another ocean world, spinning in perfect balance around its star. Its waters are deep, calm, and cool, shining with a shade of blue so rich it feels almost alive. Across the surface, delicate sheets of plankton drift in soft lines, glowing faintly as they follow slow currents. They gather at dusk, forming luminous fields that stretch for miles, shimmering quietly beneath the fading light. As you imagine drifting above those glowing fields, your own mind begins to shimmer with quiet warmth, sinking deeper into peaceful stillness. You float farther into the darkness, drawn to a world wrapped in swirling winds that move in graceful loops around the globe. These winds carry tiny particles that reflect soft blue light, creating ribbons of color that twist and curl through the atmosphere. These ribbons move so slowly they almost appear still, stretched across the sky like gentle strokes of glowing paint. Imagining their motion settles your thoughts into long, smooth lines, easing every remaining fragment of tension. Your body relaxes even more as you drift toward a world where the ocean lies beneath a sky filled with drifting islands of frozen vapor. These islands catch starlight and scatter it in soft, pale glimmers that dance across the water. The ocean below is quiet, its surface broken only by slow, rhythmic ripples. As you float above this still world, you feel as though you're gliding through a dream, held in balance between shimmering sky and silent sea. You drift deeper into the idea that each blue world contains its own gentle wisdom, a rhythm, a calm, a softness shaped by water and light and time. Some worlds hum with ancient energy, others glow with fresh, young oceans, but all share a quiet peace that echoes across the cosmos. These worlds remind you that rest is natural, that calm is woven into the structure of the universe itself. You imagine drifting through a cluster of blue worlds, each one reflecting soft light into the space around it. The gentle radiance spreads outward, creating a faint halo through the dark. You float through that halo now, feeling the warmth of their combined glow sinking through your body, loosening your shoulders, softening your breath, quieting your mind. Your thoughts grow slow and wide, settling like soft sand beneath calm water. The worlds fade into gentle shapes behind your eyelids, the universe dimming into a warm, quiet cradle that holds you without effort. You drift in that cradle, suspended, peaceful, ready to continue the long journey when the next part unfolds. As you drift deeper into this quiet cosmic sea, the blue worlds that surround your journey begin to feel like distant, glowing lanterns scattered across an endless night. Your breath moves in long, soothing waves, each inhale lifting you gently, each exhale sinking you into layers of deeper calm. The silence around you is warm and wide, spreading softly like a slow tide, and you float through it as though carried by a current woven from starlight and stillness. You imagine approaching a blue world where gentle tides rise and fall beneath a sky of shifting color, pale turquoise in the day, deep indigo at night, and soft silver during the long, quiet dawns. Its oceans stretch from pole to pole in calm, glassy expanses, broken only by smooth chains of islands. These islands are covered in soft, glowing vegetation that sways in warm breezes, their blue luminescence brightening as the sun sets. As you imagine drifting above this peaceful world, the slow, natural rhythm of its tides sinks into your breath, deepening your rest. You float onward to a world where the sea is nearly transparent, so clear that you can see deep into the water from high above. Beneath its surface, vast meadows of gentle, ribbon-like plants drift in endless motion. They bend and sway in slow patterns, creating shapes that ripple outward like the soft spreading of dream thoughts. Small creatures dance between them, glowing faintly as they move, leaving trails of blue light that swirl behind them. As you watch this quiet, underwater dance, your body feels as though it is sinking into the same slow, drifting pattern, weightless and calm. Your breath settles further as you imagine a world where crystal raindrops fall only once every few years, each drop glowing with a soft blue light. When they touch the surface of the ocean, they dissolve into slow ripples that move for miles before disappearing. The creatures that live there rise when this rare rain falls, gathering near the surface to drift in the luminous waves. Their presence feels ancient, patient, gentle. As you imagine floating above that water, listening to the muted rhythm of glowing raindrops, your own thoughts dissolve into soft ripples of quiet. You drift deeper into the cosmos, carried by a gentle thought of another blue world, one wrapped in long, swirling trails of dust that glow faintly under its star. These trails move slowly around the planet, creating shifting rings of light that reflect across the waves below. The oceans seem to shimmer with every rotation, as if the world is constantly breathing blue and silver. You imagine drifting along with these light-filled rings, feeling the soft pull of their motion guiding you deeper into a calm so wide it feels almost infinite. Your body grows heavier as you picture a world where the ocean surface is covered with drifting clusters of soft, balloon-like forms that float gently on the water. They glow a pale blue from within, casting warm light downward into the deep. Beneath these floating forms, shadowy shapes glide slowly in the dim glow, moving with a dreamy gentleness that hints at ancient rhythms. As you imagine resting among these floating lights, a soft warmth fills your chest, settling you into a state of peaceful surrender. Your breath becomes slower still as you imagine a world where the oceans hold pockets of warm, still water that stretch for hundreds of miles. These pockets glow softly at night from tiny organisms that gather near the surface, creating vast, gently shimmering plains of blue light. Nothing disturbs these pockets. No wind, no waves, no storms. They remain perfectly still, like mirrors of glowing glass. When you picture yourself floating above these still waters, something inside you becomes equally still, a calm settling into your body, like soft sediment drifting slowly to the bottom of a quiet sea. You drift onward to a world where cliffs carved from shimmering blue stone rise from the ocean like the edges of ancient sleeping giants. Water cascades from their tops in slow, gentle falls, glowing faintly as it tumbles into the sea below. The sound, imagined but soothing, blends with your breath, each inhale drawing in the quiet of falling water, each exhale releasing you into the soft lap of waves at the base of the cliffs. Your awareness softens further as you imagine a world where the surface of the sea is dotted with small islands of glowing ice. These islands drift quietly, their light dimming and brightening with the gentle rhythm of the ocean below. In the darkness, they look like tiny stars resting on the surface of the water, moving slowly with the tides. As you float above them, you feel as though you are drifting among two skies, one above, one below, both filled with soft, shimmering light. You sink deeper into rest, imagining countless more blue worlds, each one cradling calm oceans, slow tides, soft winds, and gentle forms of life. They turn silently in the dark, their quiet beauty untouched, their rhythms steady and soothing, and you drift among them, floating weightlessly in the vastness, carried by the idea that the universe is full of peaceful places you'll never see but can still feel. Your breath continues its slow, warm rhythm, your body sinking further into comfort, your thoughts dissolving into the quiet ocean of space around you. The blue worlds fade into soft shapes behind your eyes, merging into a single gentle glow that holds you in stillness, and you remain there, drifting, ready to move deeper into this cosmic dream when the next part unfolds. Like soft echoes of one another, each one offering a different shade of calm, a different rhythm of quiet. Your breath floats in slow circles now, each inhale widening the stillness within you, each exhale settling you further into rest. The darkness around you holds you like warm water, and the stars seem to pulse softly in the distance, guiding you toward the next world, waiting quietly in the cosmic sea. You imagine drifting toward a world whose oceans glow faintly beneath a pale, shimmering sky. The surface reflects the light like liquid glass, each wave bending the glow into graceful curves. Small ripples drift outward from unseen movements deep below, gentle reminders that the world is alive in its own soft way. As you float above those glowing waters, the calmness of the world settles into your breath, smoothing every last bit of tension from your body. You breathe slowly as you approach another world, wrapped in clouds so delicate they appear almost transparent. Through the thin layers, you see vast seas swirling below, their colors shifting from deep navy to soft turquoise as the light moves across them. The clouds drift in slow, layered sheets, creating gentle patterns that shift like curtains in a quiet breeze. Imagining yourself drifting through these airy veils, your thoughts feel just as light, moving without weight or urgency. You drift deeper into the cosmos, drawn toward a world where the oceans are threaded with long, winding rivers of glowing microorganisms. These glowing rivers weave across the surface like soft, shimmering pathways, illuminating the water with gentle blues and warm violets. They move with the tides, widening and narrowing slowly, as though the planet itself is breathing in color. As you imagine hovering above these shimmering trails, your own awareness drifts with them, flowing quietly from one gentle thought to the next. Your breath slows again as you picture a world where tall, floating towers of ice rise from the sea. These towers glow faintly, their surfaces etched with smooth, flowing patterns created by centuries of melting and refreezing. At night, the ice catches faint starlight and scatters it into delicate beams that sweep across the water below. The beams move so slowly that they feel like thoughts drifting across a dreaming mind. You watch them in your imagination, and your own thoughts soften into light as well, slow and drifting. You float farther into the darkness as you imagine a world where tiny, luminescent petals fall gently from floating plants that drift along the breeze above the ocean. These petals settle on the water like soft blue snow, glowing faintly before dissolving into the waves. The sight is peaceful, quiet, mesmerizing. As the petals fall, the surface shimmers with soft ripples that move outward in wide, slow circles. As you picture this gentle falling, your breath becomes lighter, easier, and your mind opens into deeper stillness. Your body loosens as you glide toward a world where the ocean surface is dotted with countless, small, perfectly round pools of calm water. These pools are undisturbed by wind or tide, remaining completely still even when the waves around them shift. They reflect the sky with perfect clarity, like portals into another quiet world. You imagine drifting above them one by one, peering into their serene reflections, each one offering a moment of deeper quiet. With each imagined pool, your inner world becomes more still, more spacious. You drift to another distant blue world, one where soft, glowing fog drifts across the surface of the sea. The fog moves slowly, curling around itself, fading into deep blue darkness, then brightening again as warm currents rise from below. Shapes move in the fog, gentle silhouettes of creatures that glide near the surface, their movements blending with the mist until they are indistinguishable from it. As you imagine floating through this glowing fog, your thoughts blur into soft, drifting shapes, blending into the surrounding quiet. You breathe deeply as you imagine a world where the night sky reflects perfectly on the ocean, creating the illusion of floating in infinite space. Stars shimmer above and below you, and the horizon disappears entirely. It feels as though you are hovering in the middle of a soft, luminous sphere, held gently by two skies. The illusion calms you to your core, dissolving any separation between your breath and the quiet universe around you. Your body grows heavy now, sinking more deeply into rest as your awareness drifts through this cluster of blue worlds. Each one holds a different form of calm, a different way of being peaceful, a different song of quiet motion. You float through all of them, collecting their stillness like soft layers wrapping around you. Your breath continues in slow, warm waves, smoothing the space within you, settling your mind into deeper calm. The blue worlds begin to fade into a soft glow behind your eyelids, their light blending into one gentle hum of quiet. And you drift in that hum, weightless, peaceful, ready to continue when the next part unfolds. As you drift deeper into this gentle cosmic quiet, the blue worlds surrounding you feel as though they are drawing closer, not in distance, but in warmth, as if each one is softly illuminating the space around you with its own shade of calm. Your breath moves in slow, steady tides, each inhale a gentle expansion into the vast night, each exhale a warm settling into deeper stillness. The darkness around you feels alive with soft motions, subtle glimmers, quiet echoes of worlds turning peacefully in the silence. You imagine gliding toward a world where the ocean is so calm that waves barely rise above a whisper. The water stretches out in smooth, endless plains, shimmering with soft reflections of its pale star. At dusk, faint ribbons of glowing color drift along the surface, created by delicate life that gathers near the warm light of evening. These ribbons move slowly, weaving quiet patterns that fade as the night grows deeper. As you hover above them, your own thoughts begin to move in slow, cooling strands, dissolving into gentle curves of light. Your breath deepens as you drift toward another world, wrapped in a sky filled with thin, floating clouds that shine with a soft blue glow. They drift like giant, luminous feathers across the sky, their edges glowing faintly as they pass over the ocean below. When the clouds move, the water shimmers in response, reflecting their gentle light in rippling patterns. You imagine gliding above this glowing dance of sky and sea, feeling the same slow ripple move quietly through your chest. You feel your body loosen as you drift to a distant world where the sea is covered in long, winding chains of glowing plankton. These chains stretch for hundreds of miles, forming soft spirals that shift with the tides. At night, they glow in gentle pulses, lighting up the dark waves like strings of stars resting on the surface. The glow is never bright, only soft, warm, rhythmic, guiding creatures that swim slowly beneath them. As you imagine drifting above these glowing spirals, your own breath finds a calm pulse that matches their slow, steady glow. You move deeper into the darkness and imagine a world whose oceans are deeper than any on Earth, vast enough to hold entire ecosystems untouched by surface light. Down in those depths, gentle creatures drift in the dark, glowing faintly in colors that bend like quiet music. Their slow motion creates trails of soft illumination that fade into the blackness behind them. Imagining this deep, glowing quiet, you feel your awareness sinking lower, as though moving through layers of warm water into the peaceful dark underneath. Your breath softens as you picture a world whose seas are dotted with small, floating domes of translucent material. These domes catch sunlight during the day and glow softly through the night. They drift freely, following currents that move around the globe in long, smooth circles. Inside each dome, tiny forms of life move in slow, synchronized motion, creating patterns that seem to breathe. You hover above them, and for a moment, it feels as though the entire world is inhaling with you, exhaling with you, sharing your slow rhythm. You drift further as you imagine a world where the sea meets the sky in a horizon that glows in shades of blue and violet. The air is filled with tiny drifting particles that scatter light gently across the ocean. As the world rotates, the colors shift like the slow turning of stained glass, casting soft gradients of blue across the water. Imagining this long, floating wash of color soothes your body, spreading warmth down your arms, across your chest, through your legs, until you feel as though you are glowing too. Your breath grows quieter as you picture a world where small, luminescent creatures leap from the water in slow arcs at night, rising into the air before drifting gently back into the waves. They glow as they leap, leaving trails of pale blue light that fade into nothing. The motion is not quick. It is unhurried, almost graceful, like a slow exhale. You imagine floating above them, watching one gentle leap after another, your own mind lifting and sinking with their calm motion. You drift onward, approaching a world where the ocean is covered in soft, rolling swells that move like the movement of a sleeping giant. These swells rise gently, crest without breaking, and fall with a weightless motion that carries across the entire sea. No turbulence, no force, only smooth, continuous drifting. As you imagine yourself gliding above these endless swells, your breath settles into that same rhythm, becoming a slow rocking motion inside your chest. Your body feels warm and heavy as you imagine all these blue worlds turning quietly in the dark, their oceans glowing, shifting, breathing in their own unique rhythms. You sense the presence of many more worlds, unseen but near, each carrying its own form of quiet life, its own gentle beauty. Together, they form a soft constellation of calm across the universe, a quiet network of blue resting places drifting in the cosmic night. And you drift with them now, weightless and peaceful, your breath slow and wide, your thoughts dissolving into the soft glow behind your eyelids. The blue worlds fade into a gentle hum that wraps around you like warm water, holding you in deepening stillness. You float there, resting, ready for the journey to continue when the next part unfolds. As you drift deeper into the quiet cradle of space, the blue worlds that once shimmered in the distance now feel woven into the soft fabric of your awareness, like gentle lights glowing behind closed eyes. Your breath moves in long, smooth flows, rising like calm water, falling like a soft tide, slipping back into the sea. Every inhale opens a little more space inside you. Every exhale draws you deeper into the wide, warm stillness that surrounds you. The cosmos feels peaceful, almost hushed, as though it too is settling into a slow, soothing rhythm. You imagine drifting toward a world where the oceans ripple with patterns shaped by distant winds that barely touch the surface. The water moves like silk being brushed by invisible hands, creating smooth, elongated waves that glide across the planet in unbroken sweeps. As you hover above them, the waves reflect faint, shifting shades of blue, blending into one another like slowly turning pages. You feel your own mind smoothing into these gentle curves, your breath matching the quiet rise and fall of the waves. Your awareness moves softly as you drift toward another world, where the sea carries floating rings of bioluminescent life. These rings stretch outward in wide glowing circles, fading as they expand, then reforming as new ones rise below. The rings create slow-moving mandalas of light, patterns that shift without hurry, never repeating exactly, never breaking the calm. You watch them from above, and the slow, rhythmic unfolding soothes your thoughts into warm, drifting currents. You feel your body loosen as you approach a world where the sky is so clear that every star reflects perfectly in the water below. The ocean becomes a mirror of the universe, the horizon dissolving into nothing, leaving you floating in a sphere of calm light. It feels as though you are drifting at the center of a quiet infinity, surrounded by two skies, one above, one below, both glowing faintly with the blue of distant worlds. As you breathe, that quiet infinity settles into your chest, expanding gently inside you. You drift deeper into the soft dark, imagining a world whose waves glow only when touched by gentle pressure. Every small movement, a drifting breeze, a gliding creature, a falling droplet, awakens trails of faint blue light beneath the surface. At night, these glowing trails create the impression of delicate drawings etched into the water, only to fade with the next tide. As you imagine floating above these shifting patterns, you feel your own thoughts lighten into faint traces that dissolve into the warm darkness. Your breath steadies into long, slow tides as you envision a world where the oceans are wrapped in curtains of shimmering vapor, rising from the surface like thin, glowing mist. The vapor moves in slow spirals, drifting upward, then curling back toward the sea as though drawn by a gentle gravity. The movement feels hypnotic, soothing, ancient. You drift through the spirals, the soft glow brushing against your imagination like warm fog, loosening your awareness into deeper calm. You continue through the cosmic quiet, imagining a world whose ocean floor is lined with enormous glowing structures, towering pillars made by long extinct life, still radiating soft blue warmth. These pillars rise into the deep water like underwater mountain ranges, their surfaces shimmering with tiny flecks of light. As currents pass through them, the glow flickers gently, sending waves of illumination through the deep. Imagining these quiet, underwater lights calms you, settling your thoughts into slow-moving streams that drift without direction. Your breath grows softer as you picture a world where quiet storms form far from the coasts, spiraling like slow, luminous flowers above the sea. The storms do not roar or rage. They simply rotate in steady silence, drawing light from the atmosphere and releasing it in faint pulses across the ocean. You hover above one of these glowing spirals, and the pattern feels like a deep, soothing rhythm echoing through your body, guiding you gently toward deeper rest. You imagine drifting into the orbit of another blue world, this one wrapped in soft, translucent rings made of icy dust. The rings scatter the planet's light in gentle halos, painting the surface in pale blue arcs that stretch across the waves. As you float through the soft glow of these rings, The entire world feels wrapped in a quiet aura, a calm that radiates outward into space. You sense that aura brushing against you now, softening your breath further, letting your body melt fully into comfort. You drift deeper still, imagining the combined glow of all these blue worlds spreading across the universe like a soft, luminous tide. Each world offering its own whisper of calm, its own gentle rhythm, its own peaceful existence. Together, they form a vast, quiet choir of oceans breathing in silence. You float among them, weightless, warm, safe, moving with the slow pulse of the cosmos itself. Your breath falls into the quietest rhythm yet, your body loosening into the warmth beneath you, your mind dissolving into the soft glow that surrounds you. The blue worlds fade into distant hums of light, merging into one wide, calming presence that holds you effortlessly. And you drift in that presence, ready for the next gentle descent when the following part unfolds. As you drift even deeper into this soft ocean of cosmic quiet, the blue worlds you've passed seem to settle behind you like gentle memories, glowing faintly in the distance. Your breath moves in long, smooth waves, each inhale widening the stillness inside you, each exhale inviting your body to soften a little more. The darkness around you feels warm and endless, holding you with the same gentle certainty as a calm sea holding a floating leaf. In this deep silence, you feel yourself drifting toward yet another world, another shade of blue waiting quietly in the night. You imagine gliding closer to a world where the oceans shimmer beneath a sky filled with slow-moving luminous clouds. The clouds drift like soft blankets of light, their edges glowing faintly as they stretch across the sky. Below them, the water reflects their glow in gentle ripples, turning the entire world into a quiet, glowing sphere. As you float above it, the soft reflections ease something deep within you, smoothing your thoughts into simple shapes that rise and fall with your breath. You drift toward another world where deep blue storms move silently across vast seas. These storms are slow, gentle, contained, spiraling in quiet circles that stretch for hundreds of miles. Within the storm, faint lightning glows, not bright or sharp, but warm and muted, illuminating the clouds from within. As you imagine hovering above one of these silent spirals, your body loosens completely, relaxing into the softness of the imagined glow. Your breath becomes calmer as you picture a world where the oceans are dotted with smooth, floating stones that have been polished by centuries of gentle tides. These stones hum softly as waves pass beneath them, creating long, low tones that drift across the water. The tones resonate deep within you, even in imagination, like a soft vibration spreading through your ribcage and shoulders. It warms you, settles you, quiets you. You drift deeper into space, approaching a world whose seas glow more brightly at night than during the day. Beneath its waters live millions of tiny, luminous creatures that awaken with the darkness. They rise in slow, drifting clouds, filling the ocean with soft trails of light. From above, the sea looks like a vast, star-filled sky turned upside down. As you float over this glowing world, the gentle upward shimmer of the water feels like a warm tide brushing against your thoughts. You breathe slowly, deeply, as you imagine another world where the waters are rich with drifting algae that pulse with soft blue colors. These pulses move across the oceans like slow waves, creating gentle patterns that soothe the eye. Nothing on this world rushes. Nothing disrupts its calm. Even the wind moves in soft, steady currents. Imagining this world, your breath becomes perfectly smooth, as though it is moving with the same calm pulse as the ocean below. Your thoughts soften further as you picture a world where the sea hides swirling columns of warm water rising from deep below. These columns glow faintly, creating soft lamps of gentle blue light in the darkness. Life gathers around them, drifting lazily, unhurried by time or distance. You imagine sinking toward these warm pillars, feeling their faint glow reach you like warm hands resting on your shoulders, comforting and steady. You drift farther into the quiet, imagining a world where the ocean is covered by a thin, shimmering sheet of ice. The ice is translucent, glowing softly from the light trapped beneath. Creatures glide under the frozen surface, their movements creating gentle waves of color that ripple across the ice. These slow waves glow in soft gradients of blue and silver, moving with the same peaceful rhythm your breath now follows. Your body grows heavier as you imagine a world where soft breezes move across the ocean in long, winding paths. The air here carries a faint glow, leaving shimmering trails above the water as it drifts. Sometimes these trails twist together, forming delicate spirals that glow brighter before fading again. As you picture floating through these trails, they feel like soft threads of light weaving through the quiet of your mind, untangling the last of your tension. You inhale slowly, deeply, as you imagine yet another distant blue world, one wrapped in glowing rings that cast shifting shadows across its sea. The shadows drift like soft curtains of darkness, moving gently with the planet's rotation. The light is never harsh. It always arrives softened, diffused, comforting. As you drift through this soft interplay of shadow and glow, your awareness sinks even deeper, relaxing into the warm silence beneath everything. You drift now through the shared calm of these worlds, feeling their quiet beauty blending into one wide, soothing presence around you. Each world adds its own gentle note to the cosmic stillness, and together they create a soft harmony that carries you effortlessly through space. Your breath is slow and warm, your body is loose and heavy, your thoughts are drifting into the soft glow behind your eyes, and you remain there, floating in that deepening calm, ready for the next quiet descent when the journey continues. As you drift deeper into this wide, quiet darkness, the feeling of floating among countless blue worlds becomes softer, smoother, almost like being carried through a warm current of calm. Your breath settles into the gentlest rhythm, rising like a slow, steady wave, falling like a warm sigh, sinking into the sea. Each inhale seems to widen the space around you. Each exhale releases another layer of weight from your body. The cosmos feels soft, dim, welcoming, as though every distant world is guiding you deeper into peace. You imagine drifting toward a world where the oceans glow with swirling patterns of luminous dust carried by slow winds. The dust settles on the water like soft blue stardust, forming delicate spirals that expand and dissolve with each passing tide. As you float above these glowing patterns, they shift beneath you like gentle thoughts sliding through your mind. Quiet, graceful, unhurried. You feel yourself drifting with them, settling into the warmth that begins to spread through your chest. You breathe softly as you approach another world, one whose sky deepens to a rich midnight blue as its sun dips below the horizon. The oceans respond by glowing faintly from within, as though the water is breathing light. Slow waves rise and fall like the world's own gentle heartbeat, the glow pulsing with each motion. As you watch those soft pulses from above, your breath naturally aligns with them, deepening into a soft, steady rhythm that relaxes every muscle in your body. You float deeper into the cosmic dark as you imagine a world where enormous floating canopies hover just above the sea, wide translucent structures shaped like drifting lanterns. They glow with a soft, internal blue light, casting warmth across the water below. Beneath them, life moves lazily through the shade, gliding in slow circles as though singing in silence. As you imagine drifting beneath these glowing canopies, a quiet shelter settles around your thoughts, comforting and warm. Your awareness softens further as you picture a world with sprawling coastlines made of tiny glass-like stones. When waves roll over them, they create faint, tinkling sounds, soft chimes carried by the ocean. These sounds ring out gently, blending into the air like a distant lullaby. Imagining this delicate music, you feel small vibrations of calm spreading through your shoulders and arms, releasing tension in warm, gentle waves. You drift increasingly deeper as you envision a world where the sea rests beneath a sky filled with drifting clusters of tiny luminescent spores. These spores glow softly, moving like slow snowflakes suspended in warm air. They fall lightly onto the ocean, dissolving into faint patches of shimmering light before sinking beneath the surface. The movement is peaceful, unbroken, endlessly soothing. As you imagine yourself floating through these drifting lights, your thoughts slow until they feel like the softest particles, gently settling in a deep, quiet place. Your breath deepens as you approach a world where underwater mountains rise close to the surface, their peaks glowing blue from ancient minerals within. As currents brush across the peaks, bursts of soft luminescence drift upward like underwater fireflies rising to greet the night. The glow spreads through the water in smooth gradients, fading into deeper shadows. You hover above the faint glow, and the gentle warmth of it spreads through your body, relaxing your chest, softening your back, warming your legs. You drift through the dark toward a world where the ocean surface forms long, smooth ridges shaped by deep planetary currents. These ridges stretch across the water like giant, rolling highways of calm. They move with such steadiness that the entire sea looks like a slow, rhythmic pattern of barely shifting lines. Hovering above them, you feel your breath moving the same way. Smooth, even, quiet, peaceful. Your body loosens even more as you imagine a world where the water is so clear that you can see soft blue shapes drifting far beneath the surface. These shapes rise and fall in slow, rhythmic motions, glowing just enough to reveal their silhouettes. They never rush. They simply drift, turning gently in the deep. As you imagine watching them, you feel yourself sinking into a similar drift, your awareness floating softly through layers of warmth. You drift through space again, feeling the glow of many blue worlds reflecting off one another in the darkness. Their combined light is faint but warm, like a distant lullaby spreading through the cosmos. Each world offers its own shade of calm, its own rhythm of stillness, its own quiet voice whispering peace into the vast night. You float among them, weightless and warm, held in the soft glow of their collective serenity. Your breath becomes slow, warm, and effortless. Your body sinks deeper into quiet. Your thoughts soften into wide, gentle spaces, and you drift, floating peacefully through this cosmic ocean of blue, ready for the journey to continue when the next part unfolds. As you drift even deeper into this vast and gentle darkness, the countless blue worlds surrounding your journey begin to feel like soft, distant heartbeats, each one pulsing with quiet oceans and slow winds. Your breath flows in long, smooth motions now, rising like a calm tide, falling like soft water settling into sand. With every inhale, you touch the wide openness of the cosmos. With every exhale, you sink further into the warm cradle beneath you. The universe feels peaceful, endless, patient, and you float through it as though carried by a current made of pure stillness. You imagine gliding toward a world where a pale blue haze wraps gently around its surface, giving the entire planet a soft, dreamlike glow. Below the haze, the oceans glimmer faintly, their surfaces moving in slow, sweeping waves. The horizon fades into the haze, making the world feel like a sphere suspended in quiet mist. As you drift above it, your thoughts melt into the same softness, dissolving into gentle, hazy shapes that drift without urgency. You breathe deeply as you approach another world where the ocean's color shifts subtly with each passing hour. Dawn brings soft, powdery blue. Midday deepens into rich sapphire. Dusk fades into pale, silvery hues. The water reflects the changing light like fabric, gently stirring in a breeze. As you imagine watching these slow transitions, your own breath begins to feel like part of the rhythm, gently shifting, gradually deepening, always soft. You drift farther into the quiet as you picture a world where bioluminescent life gathers into floating blooms that drift slowly across the sea. These blooms glow with gentle blues and soft violets, forming wide, drifting fields of light that move with the currents. As you hover above them, it feels as though you're watching slow galaxies drifting across the surface of an earthly ocean. This calm, cosmic motion spreads into your awareness, unwinding every tight place inside you. You float deeper still toward a world where towering columns of warm water rise from the deep and spread across the surface like gentle fountains. These columns glow faintly blue, their warmth attracting graceful creatures that drift in soft spirals around them. Their slow, swirling dances leave trails of faint light behind them, patterns that fade gradually into the warm dark. You feel yourself drifting with them, spiraling toward the center of a quiet, peaceful moment. Your breath moves more slowly as you imagine a world whose oceans are dotted with vast, drifting mats of soft blue vegetation. These mats sway gently with the current, forming floating forests that stretch as far as the eye can see. Beneath them, shadows of large, calm creatures move like wandering clouds. Through the soft canopy, scattered beams of starlight pierce the water, creating delicate columns of glow that drift downward. Imagining this filtered light, you feel yourself sinking into soft, warm layers of quiet. You drift to another world where the water's glow brightens when touched by gentle winds. As the breezes pass over the ocean, the surface lights up in soft lines, like glowing handwriting written by the sky. These glowing lines spread outward, merging and separating in slow, soothing rhythms. As you imagine floating above, the gentle ripples of light feel like they're tracing warm patterns across your thoughts, smoothing everything into peaceful curves. Your body loosens more deeply as you imagine a world where distant moons reflect soft light onto the ocean in overlapping patterns. The water shimmers with shifting layers of blue, each one glowing faintly. The moons move slowly across the sky, creating a gentle, ever-changing world of layered shadows and illuminated waves. The slow dance of reflected light calms you, settling your breath into a rhythm that feels infinite. You drift further, imagining a planet where quiet geysers release streams of glowing mist into the air. The mist drifts upward and spreads like soft blue smoke, curling in delicate spirals before dissolving into the night. As you hover above these drifting spirals, they feel like slow thoughts rising through your mind, lifting away any last remnants of the waking world. You float through the darkness, imagining all the blue worlds you've seen and all the ones still waiting beyond sight. Some bright, some dim, some warm, some cold, each one offering its own form of gentleness, its own rhythm of rest. Together, they form a quiet constellation of oceans, a cosmic archipelago of calm. As you drift among them now, you feel the shared stillness of these worlds settling into your breath, your body, your thoughts. Everything slows, everything softens, everything becomes warm, wide, and quiet, and you drift deeper, held by the calm of a universe filled with soft blue seas, ready to slip into the final part of this journey when the last chapter arrives. As you drift deeper into this quiet, endless night, the blue worlds you've imagined begin to soften into a single, gentle glow that stretches across your inner horizon. Your breath moves in warm, slow tides now, each inhale opening a little more space inside you, each exhale guiding you further into a deep, comforting stillness. The cosmos feels calm, settled, cradling you like a vast ocean that has accepted you into its quiet embrace. The journey continues, not outward anymore, but inward, into the softest parts of rest. You imagine floating toward one last blue world, not brighter or grander than the others, but quieter, softer, as though it waits for you with an open, peaceful presence. Its oceans shimmer beneath a sky washed in pale, serene colors. The waves move with slow, rounded motions, each one rising like a gentle breath, each one falling into warm silence. As you drift above this final world, you feel a sense of arrival, not at a destination, but at a peaceful moment where everything has slowed to the perfect stillness your body has been seeking. The air around this world glows with a faint, soothing haze, spreading warmth across the surface of the sea. Clouds drift in high, delicate layers, glowing like soft veils in dim light. Beneath them, the water reflects their gentle shapes, turning the world into a sphere of mirrored calm. As you imagine hovering there, suspended between cloud and sea, you feel your thoughts thinning into faint, weightless shapes, dissolving into the soft glow beneath your eyelids. You drift slowly along the horizon of this world, watching the light shift in long, gradual waves. When dusk arrives, the oceans glow from below, lighting the surface as though the world carries its own quiet lantern inside its heart. The glow pulses in slow, steady rhythms, a planetary breath, deep and ancient. As you feel your own breath matching this soft rhythm, your entire body loosens, sinking into deeper warmth and effortless calm. You glide closer to the water's surface, imagining the faint sounds of gentle waves brushing against one another. There is no rush, no wind, no urgency, only the patient movement of water following the pull of its moon. You imagine lowering yourself until you feel as though you are floating on that calm sea, weightless, supported, completely at ease. The imagined warmth of the water wraps around your chest, your shoulders, your limbs, inviting every part of you to rest. Below the surface, soft lights drift upward, glowing trails of living forms moving with slow, deliberate grace. They form faint ribbons of blue in the dark water, rising like quiet dreams reaching toward the surface. As they move beneath you, their gentle glow seems to warm your mind, easing your thoughts into long, soft stretches of silence. Each flicker of light feels like a soft whisper, inviting you deeper into rest. You drift farther across the water, watching as the sky darkens into a smooth gradient of deep blue, then soft violet, then warm black. Stars emerge slowly, one by one, their reflections scattered across the ocean until the world seems wrapped in two skies, one above, one below, identical, endless, peaceful. As you float between them, it feels as though gravity has faded away, leaving only the sensation of being gently carried in a cradle of cosmic quiet. Your breath softens into the faintest rhythm as you imagine the planet turning beneath you, its slow rotation moving you through gentle light and deeper darkness. The world does not hurry, it does not strain, it simply moves at the pace of calm, and you move with it now, your awareness sinking into deeper warmth, deeper softness, deeper stillness. The blue worlds of your journey begin to gather behind your thoughts, forming a quiet constellation of oceans and twilight skies. They hum softly, like distant lullabies, their rhythms merging into one continuous, soothing presence. You no longer see them clearly, but you feel them, the calm of each world blending into a single, wide, peaceful blanket. Your body becomes heavier, as though sinking into warm sand. Your thoughts become slower, spreading like soft ripples. Your breath becomes a quiet tide, rising and falling without effort. You drift in this cosmic cradle, feeling yourself sliding gently into the softest depths of rest, carried by a universe filled with blue, quiet worlds, each one a reminder of calm, patience, and peaceful motion. And as the last traces of the journey dissolve into darkness, you drift effortlessly into sleep, warm, safe, weightless, held by the quiet wonder of a universe that whispers you into dreams.